Hi, I'm Charlene, and my philosopher is Immanuel Kant. His ethics was deontological ethics, which was based on duty. Um, I just want to start off by just pointing out, like in society today, we see that there are a lot of problems in our society, whether it be killing, stealing. There's always something going on. And what I think is that since people believe that, they're right because it benefits them, or basically they validate what they're doing, whether regardless of how bad it is. Say, I killed him because he tried to kill me. So that's a big problem. So what I'm proposing is that we follow a universal law, which Kant describes as the categorical imperative. So if we implement this in our lives, I think the world would be a better place to live in. I mean, it's hard to swallow, but just imagine. But let me go on and explain. Go forward and explain how we ought to act, what we're capable of. I want to define what the difference is between animals and ourselves. Basically, as animals, they act based on desires, which Kant defines as heteronomy. So basically, I'm hungry, you kill. Hungry, kill is basically how the animal thinks. So what sets us aside and what makes us unique is that we have the ability to act with the free will on what we're trying to accomplish. We have the ability to rationalize whether something's right or something's wrong. Let me move on. What is good? Kant defines good. This is his quote here. A good will isn't good because of what it affects or accomplishes. It's a good in itself. Even if by utmost effort the good will accomplishes nothing, it would still shine like a jewel for its own sake, as something which has its full value. Some people may say, no, that's not true. The only good isn't just a good will. But just imagine, a good person organizes a group to save money for, the dying children in Africa. The outcome, it wasn't successful. She didn't raise any money for them. So it doesn't make it a bad act, because her intentions, her goodwill was present, and that's all that matters. And another example is, a real bad person could intend to do something bad to someone, and the outcome could be good. One example I used was, this boy pushes another boy into a girl, hoping to embarrass him or even hurt him, and the outcome is he gets up, she helps him up, and they end up dating. So something good came out of that. So that's why it's defined as the only good in this world is a good will, because the intentions alone, it doesn't depend on anything. It doesn't depend on the outcome. It's basically your good intentions, your good will, and that's possible. That's possible because we as humans, again, are able to rationalize what's good and what is bad. Move on. What we ought to do. So we believe that, Kant and I believe that act according to our duty. Duty is based on the categorical imperative. Basically, it's the moral principles that we should follow. Act as if the maxim of your action would become a universal law of nature. Treat humanity, whether yourself or another, as an end in itself, and not only as a mean. I mean, if you look at the context itself, I mean, it's pretty easy. If we implemented this in our lives, just think about how good the world would be. If we thought about, I mean, it's not our responsibility to think about everyone else, whether he's doing the right thing or not. If he's following his duty, it is not our responsibility. Everyone's responsible for themselves. But just imagine the entire world doing their duty. Basically, the duty is doing your duty. How do you determine what the duty is? You go ahead and you think of the principles, the categorical imperative. Before you do something, you ask yourself these questions. Anything where you say no to any of these, then it's the vice of things. It's a bad thing. So do not do it. Let's move on. Duties not to commit suicide, not to make deceitful promises. So basically, our duties, there's some that are common, like in our 10 Commandments, thou shalt not steal. These are the basic ideas. Do not steal, lie, cheat, or kill. We know that. Again, as human beings, we know between right and wrong. And, basically our duties are based on that. Let's go on to the next. So, universal law prevails. The movie Cinderella Man took place during the Great Depression. Driven by love for his family, he willed an impossible dream to come true. So, the movie Cinderella Man, basically, again, it took place during the Great Depression. It's based on a true story. It's about a man. He was a boxer. He was a boxer, a pretty popular one, I guess. And he had a wife and 3 kids. So basically during the Great Depression, I'm sure you can think of, just imagine that there's complete total chaos. There's just, people rioting, people stealing, people killing themselves. It's just mad chaos. And just imagine if we implemented this universal law, again, following the categorical imperative. Would you will this for everyone? Are you treating the means as an end rather than a means to an end? Just if you can imagine just seeing, just the society itself during the Great Depression. No money, no jobs. Everyone's in dire need of food, water. Some may say, okay, well, do whatever it takes, for your self-interest, do whatever it takes to survive. We're going to say no, because at times like this, just imagine if everyone just acted according to their duty. Again, using their moral ability to distinguish what's right and what's wrong. So stealing there was an example in here from the movie. His son stole a slab of salami from the butcher's, and his father took him and returned it. And basically, after he returned it, the son said, oh, my friend got sent away because his parents couldn't afford food. He was sent away to his uncle, and his father looked at him and said, we know that you're not supposed to take other people's stuff because that's stealing, and stealing is wrong. So regardless of your situation, it's not right. It's never right to steal. It's basically what his father was saying. This character, James Braddock, is just amazing. He reflects, I hope I'm going to say it right, Kantianism tremendously. Just imagine if everyone acted the way he did. He knew his duty. His daughter, was hungry, and he gave up his meat. Although, he's gonna suffer, starve, he knows his duty. He knows his duty is to keep his family safe. His son got sent away, and he promised after returning to salami that he would never send him away. He did things that he never thought he would do, to make sure that he kept that promise. Although he was sent away, I mean, his intentions, you know, he knew his duty. He had to get his son back. And just going through the Great Depression, I mean, you can just imagine everyone just giving up. He didn't give up. He knew what his duty was, to take care of his family, keep them together. That was his duty. And it wasn't all about the money anymore. It was basically like a quote he said. I hope I'm going to say this right. So he says, when he's being interviewed, "This time around, I know what I'm fighting for." And they ask him what. It's like milk. You know, it's just things like that. It's touching to me. And I mean, although like in society now, you know, it's so much has changed and it's just out of control. I just hope that you can imagine, you know, if we all follow the universal law, how good of a world we would live in. I would like to close with my closing. So the universal law will clarify how we ought to act, and it will help us emphasize the only good in this world, a good will. Remember, we are all rational beings capable of reason. We all have a duty, an obligation to act with a good will. If we act according to our duties, which follow the principle of the categorical imperative, the world will be a place where chaos and crime do not exist. And I strongly believe that if we took responsibility and did our duties. Thank you. And it was nice working with you, Professor Arias.